For our next controller review, we'll be taking a look at the Halo Infinite Elite Series 2 controller. Now, if I wanted a controller that's got a thick, greasy sludge mark on it that never goes away, I would just look at every controller I already own. I got an email from someone last month who wanted to draw my attention to an episode of The Final Bossman that I posted a long time ago, July 8th, 2013. Now, the episode's called Fighting the Future, and it's basically me lamenting this evident shift from physical media to digital media. I'm sad because I like video game boxes and cartridges and discs, and I'm sad that we're going to let those things go, but I'm sort of accepting the inevitability of it all. And I say this: I promise that 8 years from now, this whole discussion, this whole hubbub, this stupid episode will make absolutely no sense. Well, past Kyle, it's been 8 years. I'm wearing tie-dye now. And I gotta say, you kind of had a point. It wasn't a bad promise to make. Like, sure, physical games are still selling well. There's still a need for physical games, but at the same time, we're fully over that hump. There are Xboxes and PlayStations that have 0 disk drives in them. You can go to a store, buy that game in its package, take it home, and you could not put that disc into those consoles. And personally speaking, as much as I loved boxes 8 years ago, I'm almost exclusively buying digital games these days. When possible, I'll go for convenience every time. So really, it sounds to me like I should be making more promises. This week's episode: 5 ways games will change in 5 years. Number 1, super advanced bots. Bots 5 years from now are not just going to fill lobbies and give out easy XP. They're going to send you a friend request after the match and ask when you want to play again. Now, they're going to pat your back when you get a headshot. They're going to ask you how shit's going at work, man. Number 2, bigger, better butts. Number 3, wirelessly charging haptic controllers that break in a couple of months. These haptics are going to be unbelievable. They're going to do the classic demo called Touch the Princess's Hair, where they turn the TV off, they hand you the controller, and they say, "What do you feel?" And you say, "I feel every strand of the princess's hair." Hold on. Something's wrong. There's peanut butter in the princess's hair. And they turn on the TV and there's peanut butter in the princess's hair, and you felt that, you knew that. Unfortunately, the analog sticks on these advanced controllers are known to quit, which means they recede into the controllers and they won't pop back out. If you're under warranty, you can send it in for repair, but that will take 5 to 6 weeks. So most people, they just buy a new one because it's only $200. Number 4, Donkey Kong is number 1 in the world again. Take a seat, Mario. And number 5, video games will be all we have. We will have finally accepted that this planet is absolutely effed. And video games will continue to be an outlet for an increasingly unimaginative and hopeless generation. Now, billionaires, they're probably going to give up on their childish aspirations of space travel. And they're going to transition into planning on how to upload their consciousness digitally. But there's a big problem that happens with the digital realms that they upload themselves into. So imagine you're like, I want to upload my brain into a sci-fi, fantasy, cyberpunk pirate world where I get to do whatever I want, and there's always these fantastic 20-somethings rubbing my genitals all day long. You'll get sick of that in one day. You will get absolutely bored in a world where you do whatever you want. And sadly, what they find is if a digital consciousness gets bored in a world, it stops moving. It stops calculating, it stops expanding, and it just gets locked up in the code. Essentially, that billionaire is gone forever. So game designers become the architects of our newest realities. Because think about it, it's not just about creating the world, creating the visuals and making everything, function and getting your consciousness into these worlds. It's about giving you something to do inside of them. You need quests. You need loot. You need some sort of progression. You need leveling up to not get bored. For an eternal being to live forever, you need these things. And so game designers become the highest demanded things. And so they're publicly saying, hey, sorry, Earth people, sorry, analog people, we're not putting out any more video games. Warren Buffett just offered us $100 billion to make a stealth action heaven for him. No games for you. And that actually works for a while, but game designers can't create content fast enough to keep up with these dead billionaires plowing through it. So think about NPCs in a video game that you're playing today. They probably say one thing. Sometimes they update what they say according to what's happening in the game, but eventually that NPC is going to have nothing new to say. And that creates boredom in the player, in the billionaire. And that can lead to billionaire ultimate death, which is not anything anybody wants. And you might say, make all the NPCs AI. Make all this organic, procedurally generated dialogue, and let's just let things roll. It doesn't work. It's more advanced 5 years from now, conversational AI, than it is today. You can still smell it. And once the player smells it, they start to get bored. And so the solution they come up with is they ask less fortunate humans, living people, to upload, jack in, and for the rest of the eternity, act as dynamic, living, vibrant NPCs. And don't judge the people from 5 years from now. It's a hard call to make. It's like, do I die of thirst and hunger on this storm planet Earth, or live forever as an NPC in Andy Jassy's sci-fi, cyberpunk, pirate fantasy world? There are, of course, rules to being an NPC. Your level cap is 2. Billionaires are paying a lot of money for this eternal game. They're not going to have you grinding slimes and defeating the final boss for them. There is some wiggle room for that level cap if the billionaires like you and want you to join their party. It doesn't happen often. Don't get your hopes up. But what happens is lots of people take the deal. At a certain point, there are thousands and thousands and millions of people acting as NPCs in the eternal games of billionaires. And I know at this point, you're probably thinking, and sorry I haven't brought this up yet, what happens if they try to procreate inside of the game? Great question. Now, it never works out. Even if you're a developer outside in the real world and you take the data of a digital consciousness and copy and paste that and plant it in with half of data from another digital consciousness, that result doesn't create a new human-like digital consciousness. It creates this algorithmic AI. It's like talking to an Alexa. It has no ambition. It is basically just a blank thing. As you can imagine, though, it happens. These manufactured NPCs, digital consciousnesses that were never alive in a real world, they are created with some frequency. It's just a thing that happens naturally in these eternal games. They're frequently called poppers, which is frankly disgusting. Popper like a balloon. Like a big empty thing, you pop it and you don't care about it. In fact, you're pleased to. Anyway, there's one day, Andy Jassy is questing. He's trying to pick up a side quest from an NPC who is missing. So Jassy calls up his games director, Cory Barlog. Hi, Cory. I got a problem. I'm on a mission called To Kiss a Cyber Dragon. Cory's like, oh, I think you're going to love this. Sure, well, there's supposed to be an NPC here called Nivox who is not here. Did Chris Pine kill them or something? By the way, I forgot to mention that celebrities are, of course, invited regularly into Eternal games, but they have a level cap of 30. They're not allowed to win. So Cory's like, no, Chris Pine's been fishing all week. He's been a total sweetheart. Let me see if I can find... Yeah, okay, hold on. It looks like Nivox was recast last Thursday, so we had to put in a popper to fill in the role last minute. Recasting, by the way, is very dark. If you've been recast, it means you somehow broke your contract and they are permanently deleting you. And it's not even that irregular. About 20% of all NPCs are recast within a week of Earth time. And most of the time, it's not even something like that rebellious. It's not like everybody's just raging against this digital world. In this case, the old Nivox simply made accidentally a harmless Shrek reference, and that was it. You cannot do stuff like that in these games. Jassy's cool though. He's just like, Cory, just give me 40 XP, set my waypoint to the Cyber Dragon's den, and I'll go see what's up. Will do. Hey, when do you think I might be able to load me and my family in? Because it really sucks out here, man. And Jassy's like, well, you're almost there, Cory, clearly. It does seem like you have a few more bugs to work out. I imagine this game might be in proper shape for you to hand off to another director in as little as 10 years. Click. So Jassy shows up at the Cyber Dragon's den, and Nivox is already kissing the Cyber Dragon. And this is insane. Poppers never do stuff like this. They have zero ambition. They are just an AI algorithm. They're not like this. Jassie's like, excuse me, what the hell are you doing? I'm sorry, I saw what I was supposed to tell you and I had to see it for myself. What could possibly make the Cyber Dragon so alluring? As you can see, I was powerless. So the Cyber Dragon is an actual former human too. The Cyber Dragon has been cast. So particularly weird, particularly horny people are actually highly valuable for these Eternal games. They can play very specific roles. If you can make a convincing dragon, you're going to be set for eternity.
Jassie, I beg of you, do not harm Nivix. It was mine own lust that...
Jassie interrupts, does a level 200 mangle spell that destroys the Cyber Dragon immediately. That's a consciousness gone.
Rhea Hashuan! No!
Never in my life have I witnessed such craven disobedience from a pauper. Explain yourself. I owe you no explanation. And he just notices, boop. Oh, you're level 30. No, not on my watch. Get fucked. And he pulls out Masamune, stabs it straight into Nivix. Nivix doesn't pop. She falls over, dead. Her helmet rolls off, revealing a beautiful head of hair covered in peanut butter. Princess. So yeah, that is the princess who Jassie just murdered. What happened earlier, the new Nivix and the princess had crossed paths. They decided to switch positions, sort of a Prince and the Pauper situation. In this case, Princess and the Pauper. The princess, given this opportunity to go kiss a Cyber Dragon, absolutely did. Who could blame her? And Jassie murdered her for it. Meanwhile, at the castle, Yaz, the demon drug lord, makes his daily proposal to the princess, which every day she rejects, of course. But the Pauper filling this role just nods and gets married to Yaz, who now rules over all of Skullbone City. Jassie, when he gets back to town and hears about what happened, rage quits immediately without thinking about the consequences, which is obviously ceasing to exist. Cory Barlog comes back from his coffee break, like, hey, what's going on? What's wrong? Sir, Jassie rage quit. Yaz is the prince now. He's level 3,000 and growing. If we don't defeat him soon, this world will become inhospitable and we won't be able to sell it to a new billionaire. I see. So we'll have to send in a mercenary champion. Somebody look this up. Who is the greatest gamer left on Earth? Okay, looks like someone named Kyle Bossman. Okay. Don't call him. We're gonna power level Chris Pine. That is delayed input for this week. Now, a couple of things before we wrap up. I don't like to normally promote my streams on this show, but there's a very special one coming up this Saturday, August 28th. I'm doing a Tetris-a-thon, baby. That means 12 hours of various Tetris games. Tetris being one of the only games I excel at. All of this to raise money for Girls Who Code. That'll go from 1 p.m. to 1 a.m. Eastern. If you're looking for some wild Tetris action this weekend, there's no better place to be. And also, this was the season finale of the most recent 8-episode season of Delayed Input. What that means is, Delayed Input will return on Thursday, September 23rd, and also that I will be posting some unrelated experimental video on September 9th, which is also a Thursday. Until then, thank you for watching. I realize you might have been wondering a couple of things as you watched this video. 1, why is Kyle's thumb so messed up? 2, why did he save his worst tie-dyed sweatshirt for last? You might be surprised to know that the answer to those questions is very related. This week, I tried to tie-dye my own shirt. And so what I'm going to provide for you are some tips for people like me who skim the directions. Tip number 1, know which part of the shirt is going to be the front. It looks okay because I'm a little cut off here, but like if you like, it's a lot of decoration here and then just a big blank spot for the rest of the belly. 2, don't ignore the direction about wearing gloves. You're pretty sure you can wash dye off your hands. You can't. And number 3, do I donate this? So the rest of this season's tie-dyed shirts, or most of them, I'm going to keep 2. The rest of them are getting donated. I feel like this one might be rude to donate. You take this to Goodwill, it feels like a broken vacuum. It feels like an open bag of popcorn. I'm not sure you donate something that looks like this. Tough call to make. Anyway, enjoy the rest of your summer and hope to see you on the other side.